Hi everybody, this is Sloan and welcome to Tub Talk. Tub Talk, I think it's Tub Talk 4. And if you see, I'm like, have my little nappy little afro. And I have gray in my hair. Isn't that weird? I have gray in my hair. I never realized I were wigs so much that I have actual gray in my hair. Yes, there's no hair on my chest, it's freckles. And today I'm not doing any kind of face products. I'm just using pure water to nourish my skin. And today was a good day. I to my last day of rest, and so I'm happy about that. Ooh. And just I'm getting all these messages about stuff, and it's interesting to see if this stuff is real, because it'd be like weird to know that all this stuff is real, but it's just too coincidental of all the stuff that happens. Like when I go to work and people are very, what's that? Dead skin. It's gross. Ignore it. Seeing all these things that happen. So today I went to the plasma center and donated blood, and I went and got some Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the rage. I got my Crunch Wrap. I got my little taco, my little Doritos tacos. Doritos tacos are the rage. Whoever made the Doritos taco needs to just get an award, like a Nobel Prize. And so yeah, turning the water on with my foot. So here's some stuff I want to talk to you about. So let's talk about another boyfriend I had. When I was in California, let's see, I was in California and I was living in, okay, so let's go back. So I went to University of Nevada, Las Vegas as a dance major. And excuse my no makeup, but yeah, it's very boy. I'm hoping to have facial feminization surgery, because I had some stuff done in my cheeks and my lips, but you know, they say that stuff never goes away. But I'm feeling like I'm reverting back, but you know, it's my face, and you know, I want some work done. I want to go like this, like just lift it a little bit and take this jaw out. This jaw needs to go, and just bring this up like this. Yeah, bring it up like that. Keep the cheeks thick, like a Janet Jackson looking. That. Yeah, that'd be cute. In the meantime, I'm happy with the way I look. I'm cute. I'm cute. I think my teeth are great. I like to get them clean though. Great teeth. They're all mine. Remember kids, brush your teeth. It's important to brush your teeth. I don't brush my teeth all the time. That's a flaw of mine, but I never have bad breath, and I'm always like, I'm aware of my teeth. So I'm in Vegas. I was doing a show at the called Burlesque. And Burlesque had sent me to Burlesque's Kenny Curry show. It was at the Sahara for years and years and years. It started off as the first original female impersonator review in Las Vegas. I started off doing La Cage. I was a backup dancer in La Cage. La Cage had like female impersonators who looked like Shirley MacLaine or Diana Ross, and that's where I learned how to basically like impersonate people. So like I can impersonate or paint Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson. Anybody black that's not fat, I can pretty much impersonate. And back then, that's who you did. As if you were a drag queen, to start off being a drag queen, that's who you would, like, you'd be stars. Now it's like, you're just a beautiful woman, or you're like your own creation. I love how the kids nowadays have taken makeup to a whole different things. You look at their makeup and it's like art. I'm like, wow, it's just art. Back then we were just trying to emulate showgirls, and like, as usual, at the setup, showgirls. But back then, you were trying to be a celebrity. You had to look like celebrities. So look up La Cage, a faux La Cage at the Riviera. Now the Riviera is gone. Sahara is gone. Silver Slipper is gone. Really, the shows had ended in Vegas, the female impersonator shows, because bigger hotels came, and Cirque du Soleil really took over Las Vegas. And celebrities start realizing how much money they can make because it's a captive audience. So all the impersonator shows went to the left, because here's the real stars down the street. There's still stars, celebrities, impersonators who do that, like Derek Barry with his Britney Spears. You have Coco Montrose, who's one of the best Janet Jackson impersonators I've ever seen. She also does Rihanna, and they've gone on to RuPaul's Drag Race and became famous that way. And I'm proud of those kids. They're from my generation of drag, where you had to, if that celebrity's wearing that costume, you wore that costume anyway. Back to my story, I went to a nightclub, and it was on, I think it was on Flamingo. Yells on Flamingo, and it was this like gay night at this club, and it was a cute club. And I ran to this guy, and his name was Brad Hansen. Brad Hansen was from South Dakota. Brad was very tall. He was very Midwestern, so cute and so nice, and he loved me to death at first. But like, I'll get along with the story. So, like, it was weird for him because the first night, you know, like I was like, I want to sleep with this guy. He's cute. And I was living at this apartment complex, so it was very tragic. And he asked me if I wanted to go on a date the next date. And he had driven me home from the club. And he's like, I thought he was going to come in. And he's like, no, I'll see you tomorrow. And he drove away, and I was standing there. I was like, he doesn't want to sleep with me? And it was rare because that's the first time I realized that I have to sleep with somebody for them to like me. I don't have to sleep with you to get some kind of validation or you to like me. I don't feel like sex is like giving some of your power away. So when you're like with somebody and they really appreciate you, they want to do dinner, they want to take you out, they want to bring you flowers. I thought it was so cute of him. So we saw each other for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden I'm moving into his apartment, into his house, his brand new house that he made. He built himself, and in this real nice neighborhood. It was like new houses. It was beautiful. It was like I walked in the house. It was like a mall. Like his mom's room, which he didn't move her in there yet, was in the front of the house, and he had a big bed. It's the first time I saw a bed with a headboard that was so huge and was so glamorous. But like we had all these clothes. He knew how to sew. He would make me vests because I love like cool vests. We go to the fabric store in the garment district in LA and say pick some fabric, and he made me a vest. Had so many clothes and stuff like that. He loved clothes too, and so yeah, we got along like that. He would like he loved me. Brad loved me a lot. The only problem was he always traveled, and I know why. He had the contract for, you know, when you go to hotels, you have the soaps and shampoos, the little soaps and shampoos you get in the bathrooms, like by Nivea or whatever. And he would ask hotels, like, what can I do to get a contract here? Because I can go to China, manufacture bottles any way you want, and I can make them fit your hotel. So he got the contract for the Stardust Hotel. I thought that was so neat. But the secret of it was, when he came back from China with all the bottles, he had a garage full of bottles, and me and him would sit in the garage and fill up the bottles, the shampoo bottles, with liquid detergent, with funnels. So it was never really the real shampoo. It was always like liquid detergent. And what's funny is that he got like these contracts and stuff, and he would go to different, like we go to Key West, we went to Chicago, we went to New Orleans, we went to Miami, and he would talk to these hotel people and he get these contracts. I was working in LA at the Grove, at Nordstrom's at the Grove, in men's suits. We had a posh life. I would take the bus, I'd be in Wilshire, but he would always be gone, like he'd be gone for the weekends. And then I was like, Sloan's getting lonely again. When it was good, it was good. When I have relationships and they're good. But when he started to disappear, I was like, I'm lonely. And here I am, young and cute. Cool clothes, cool job. I'm working at the Beverly Center and the Grove. And I'm meeting celebrities. I met this girl from this movie. You know, two could play that game with Vivica Fox. I had lunch with Vivica Fox. Believe it or not, I had lunch with Vivica Fox. She bought me a Starbucks card. She thought it was cool. And then I got a job working at Macy's and Macy's Studio Services, which is when all the studios come into, like they're doing a movie, they do a special section of Macy's TV shows and movies, and they can rent the clothes, but they had to buy 20% of the clothes they pull. So I would go around with stylists. That's why I want to be a stylist so much. Stylists, and they would say, okay, this character is this and that and this and that. So I use my dead name. Blah. They'd ask me to go around and pick up the clothes, and one time it was for a soap opera, The Bold and the Beautiful. And I was like, oh, there was like a model scene where they need gowns and gowns and gowns. And so I pulled out a bunch of gowns. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, this looks cute and this looks hot. And then I'm watching The Bold and Beautiful like a week later. And this black model comes in. She's like, "How do you like this?" to one of the characters, and it was a gown that I pulled, and I was like, "Ooh, that girl's wearing the gown I pulled on. She looks good. Oh my god, she's wearing the gown." And then Sharon Davis, who got an Oscar. I don't know if she got an Oscar nod or an Oscar for Dreamgirls. She came in and we hit it off like that. And she's like, "If you ever want to work for me, I would love for you to work for me. You're such a funny person." And now I look at her and I go, Sharon Davis is like legendary. She's a woman, African American woman stylist. She is like phenomenal. If you watch Dreamgirls, she's got that thing to a science where she's like, she knows costumes, she knows history, she knows, and those Dreamgirl dresses she designed, she designed all the stuff. So here I'm working with these people. But my boyfriend was never around. He's always flying off someplace or trying to manufacture bottles. He was always hustling, and I like that about him because he had his own life. But then I got lonely, and one time I'm on the bus and I'm coming home and this guy sits next to me and he looks at me and he goes, and he's hot. Because in LA, like it's like a very industry town where if you're not a waiter or you work at McDonald's, you're trying to be in a show, you're trying to audition for stuff, you're out there, you're a model, you're something trying to be in the industry. And so he looked at me and this girl across from me she goes, "You better kiss that boy." And he kissed me. Like he kissed me. And then he got off the bus and the girl goes, "Get off the bus, follow him." And I got off the bus and took him home. I know. But I was lonely and he was so attractive. And I was like, I really want to be needed. It's hard, like in a relationship when you're with somebody and you don't feel like you're needed. You're not needed. Here's the kicker. So when I take him home, we're all going at it and so at it. We're in the sexual position. And guess who walks through the door? Brad walks into the bedroom. And that was it. But secretly, he was sleeping with somebody who was taking somebody to China. He kept on going to China, and I found his plane tickets, and it was always for two. And I go, "Why do you have two plane tickets going to China?" He's like, "Oh, well, I like to have the extra seat in the seat because the plane is smaller. The plane is smaller, it has smaller seats going away to China." And you want me to believe that? Okay. So what I found out was I went to go visit my mom in Hawaii because she was getting sick and my sister wasn't taking care of her. And my mom sent for me and I said, "I'm going to go, Brad, and visit my mom. And I'm going to be back on Thursday." I called him. He's like, "Well, tell the manager," and I didn't have the key to get in the apartment. So he's like, "Call the manager and tell them to let you in." I called the manager. She's like, "I can't do that unless he's in the house," and blah, 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 blah. So he called me and he goes, "I need to tell you something." I said, "What?" He goes, "I moved somebody else in." And it was what it was. So there I was in Hawaii, and I lost my boyfriend, and I lost my career and all the things I was great at because I was represented by auto models. I had done one thing for, I don't know if you remember that show, Joe Millionaire. I was on the street, and this camera crew came up to me, and they're like, "What do you think about Joe Millionaire?" And I was like, blah, 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 and I was being all funny and stuff like that. And there it was in the previews, me talking about, "Yeah, Joe Millionaire is the hottest man I've ever seen. If he was like my type," and you know what my type means, "I would date him in a second." Boom, I'm in a promo for Joe Millionaire. My agency called and they're like, "You're so funny. You're so good. We're going to put you in the acting section of our agency." And I was like, wow, just from being on the street. Like if I see a camera crew, even today, if I see camera crew, mayor, supermodel, judge from American Idol, I will go up to them and talk to them, and I'll be so funny that they'll think I'm interesting and they'll want to stay around and talk to me. I'm not trying to talk to people like because I'm schmoozing. I'm talking because I want to see what's going on, and you seem funny, and I know you from somewhere. Oh, here's another thing. So I'm working at Macy's and Studio Services, and I'm walking around the Polo men's section because Tyson Beckford was really hot. Tyson Beckford walks in. He starts chatting me up. I'm like, "This is Tyson Beckford." I'm seeing his picture on the wall, the Polo. Remember the Polo ads with a hot guy with a bald head? He's black. I'm like, "That's you?" He's like, "Yeah, babe, that's me." I go, "You look good in those ads." He goes, "That's just a lot of airbrushing." I'm looking at him like, "No, it's not, you Chinese Jamaican black man. You look hot." But I'm like playing it down. Go, "Yeah, that's great. I love that sweater you want." I don't know what to say. Guess who he's with? Guess who Tyson Beckford was with that day? well, I don't know if he's with him, but they're there at the same time. Randy Jackson from American Idol. Now this is fat Randy Jackson from American Idol, and he starts flirting with me. He's walking around the place, and he's all checking me out and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. But in real life, he smelled like he's got one of those fragrance guys. Like he smelled so good. He had class. It was like he walked in the aisles, and I can hear the word class right behind him. So I have to go back to work, and I'm so happy being a stylist and pulling out clothes. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go over to the Calvin Klein section and pull some underwear for these hot men. And I said to Tyson Beckford, and he goes, Calvin Klein, why don't you get Polo? Wah, wah. So that's my Tyson Beckford story. So meanwhile, I'm in Hawaii. Let's go back to the story. So I'm in Hawaii. I'm trapped there. Brad is like with some new guy, and months later, he contacts my mom because he caught a flesh-eating virus in the Philippines. And like a couple of months ago, I was just looking him up because I'm in this part of the country, and there's this picture that said he had a heart attack. He passed away. That's one of my biggest regrets in life, because we went out and we saw things and we traveled, and he's tall, he's very handsome, he had the best hair, he had thick hair, he was a good guy. But in the end, I can't compete with little Filipino boys. I just can't. They're hairless, they're short, they're smart, they're fashion, they have accents that are very Singaporean, and they speak different languages. But I think he got caught up in that. And that was my story about Brad Hansen. And even I think about him right now, I think about he had an Audi TT, and once we were outside a nightclub, and I was mad at him, and we're fighting inside the Audi TT. We're fighting in front of this, like, fighting in this fierce black Audi TT that had baseball leather seats that he had built. He had that car built. And I'm all fighting with him, he's all fighting with me, and yeah, that was class. Brad Hansen was class. And so, the quality I'll take from him is that he made me feel like he didn't let me forget what my worth was. So even though he was like another guy that was cheating on me, and then I ended up cheating on him, he showed me a life that as a African American gay person I should be living, instead of bowing down and feeling sad and asking somebody to hug me all the time. I think that's sad. Today I ran into, and I was like, can you give me a kiss? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss, honey. Give me a kiss. And he pushes me away. In my heart now, I know it's not real. And so I patiently, I know somebody out there is better for me. I know it. And whoever that next guy is, it's going to be the best time of my life, because I deserve it, and so does he, and I'm not going to take it for granted. Cheating is like when you feel like you need to cheat or look at somebody, sexually, or you look at somebody. It's okay to look. I feel like, yeah, I'll look all you want. It's fun. It's human nature to look. But once you act on that, the relationship's really over. It really is, because, if you're not getting that at home, if you're not getting affection from somebody you love at home, then what's the problem? There's couples counseling. There's time, vacations, and really remembering what you respect in each other in the first place to love each other. And I'm all about love. If you know me and you watch my channel, you know I'm about love. And I don't see the hate in it. Even that video I posted today about that girl, Tweak You girl, going off on me at the bus stop. I looked at her and I was like, girl, you better get on that bus. I'm your mommy. Don't try to talk to me like that. You can't just go around being belligerent in the United States, in the world. You can't be belligerent to people. Like I'm like cute light. Like it takes a lot to make me go off. But when I go off, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be like a, I'm gonna fight you, go off. It's gonna be an educated read where I'm gonna break you down like a fraction and remind you who you think you are. And whatever you think you are in that bad attitude, walking down the street, getting on the bus, where I'm getting on the bus, is not as bad as me seeing the world and looking at you going, what are you doing on my planet? Let alone breathing my air in my space, trying to get in my face. Honey, who's the mother of this house if you have to come towards me with your belligerent attitude? You're tweaky, you're weird, I've been there, I know what you're feeling, stop. Don't ever think I don't ever think I'm better than somebody else. I'm not better than somebody else, and somebody else is not better than me. But what I am going to do is say, look, honey, in a couple years, when you get off those drugs like I did, honey, I'm not perfect, but we all know that it was trials and tribulations. God brought me out of that, and the only way you're going to get out of that is God and looking at yourself in the mirror and going, okay, what am I doing in my life? Okay, and I've been in this apartment for 3 weeks. I ain't meet nobody. I'm letting people do things to my body that I'm having nightmares about. What are you doing, honey? You're a beautiful African-American woman, a Somali girl, and Somali people are some of the fiercest girls. Have you seen the Somali girls lately? Have you seen those Somali girls? Have you seen them? Think of this. Think Iman, the first black supermodel who came over here with that regal face and that long neck and that beautiful beige skin, that brownish beige skin, and those big old eyes, and her look. She got David Bowie, for God's sakes. David Bowie was the most bisexual thing in the world. He said Iman, and that was it. So Somali girls have it. So whatever happened to her when she came over to this country and decided, like, somebody put something in her mind, and she did something that was not organic to the way Somalian people live. They have values. Their values are like, when you get down to the root of it, they are a people for their people. And if you don't respect that, honey, what are you doing? Yell at me at a bus stop. You better call somebody. The mosque needs you, honey. I'm sure they didn't bring you all the way over here from Somalia. You didn't come all the way from Somalia, to act like a fool in the United States and represent your culture like that. You're a beautiful girl. What are you doing trying to flex with me? You're flexing with me, really. But I love you regardless. Remember who you are. Remember what your people stand for. I'm looking at me and I'm going, okay, my people are from Shreveport, Louisiana. My mom was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. She's a beautiful woman. What would she think if she saw me acting all weird? I think about that every time when I was in a hazy phase. I think about that every time I do that mess, and then I wake up the next day all high and stuff, and I look at myself in the mirror and I see her. Ooh, that spooked me out. So this was Tup Talk number 5 or 6, and that was the story of Brad Hansen. And I want to tell you that if you step to somebody, be careful, because you don't know people's stories. This building I'm living in, the Lions Apartments, has some amazing people in it. Don't be judging people because they have a baseball jacket, a Letterman jacket on, or dreadlocks, or whatever they got on, honey. That's called style. It's the same style you're trying to buy for $1,000 to try to emulate a culture that you have no business messing with. Being a transgender person doesn't mean I'm trying to emulate a woman or like become that woman or replace women. I'm doing the best of me. And if I could be born like any other way, do you think I would want a hard life like that? And no, it's not hard. As long as you respect people, respect yourself, life is great. But remember, the next time you step to a transgender woman, you better make sure you're safe. Because some of these girls out here will write the street with your name, with your blood, and have a stop sign in front of your face. You say, girl, you fucking man in the wig. They'd be like, rip. All it takes is a snatch. If you see a trans girl pull from their wig coming off, honey, you better start running. But not with me. I'll look at you and I'll laugh and then be like, ah, kiki. Because the worst thing you can tell me is like, what's something you can tell me that could put me down? That's not real Versace. That color doesn't go with that wig. I don't like your lipstick. Absolutely nothing, because you don't take things to heart. You take things and you understand where it's coming from. I think that comes with age. And I'm glad to be 56. Talk to you later.